Ever since I first became aware of, and started paying attention to, this whole social justice concept, I've seen more and more ridiculous things. But this one though, takes the biscuit. This story is so insane, so completely ridiculous, so crazy, that I waited a bit before I started to put together this video, in case it turned out to be a hoax or a case of Poe's law or something. But no, there's no indication of that. It seems like it's actually a real story. So, what's happened? Well, college asks students to contemplate privilege. Yes, you heard and read that correctly, privilege. Someone actually did this, with a straight face presumably, seeing as how it's not turned out to have been a hoax or joke as far as I know. The notorious Northern Arizona University now has signs outside of on-campus restrooms that ask students to consider whether they have privilege. I wonder why the article describes the university as notorious. Maybe it's got a reputation, at least with this site, for being full of social justice nutcases. Just a thought. Anyway, there's an update here. It says, NAU claims the placards are not authorized by the school, and that it is trying to identify those responsible while taking down any flyers that appear. Well, at least that's something. Assuming that it wasn't one of the cleaners or something, which I doubt, then at least it's one or more of the students that's done this and not the professors, because let's be honest here, I wouldn't have put it past them. Anyway, I'm not going to go through the article because it just basically tells you what the posters say, and I want to show you that myself. So we'll start with this one, seeing as how there's less written on it. It says, do you have privilege? If you never have to think about gender identity, why would you have to think about gender identity when you go to the toilet? It doesn't matter what you identify as, whether you consider yourself to be agender, pangender, trigender, quadrigender or hemidemi-semigender, it doesn't make any difference. It only matters what chromosomes you have, or in rare cases, should have had something not gone wrong. I guess it's going to get a bit more complicated when you start bringing trans people into the conversation, but even then, selecting which toilets to use should still be subconscious and automatic. Anyway, it says, if you never have to think about gender identity, ability or access when peeing, then you do. Have these people never heard of disabled toilets? This sign was put up right by the toilets. Was the disabled one not right there? Did they miss it? And here's something else. Are they saying that not being disabled is a privilege now? Because that's what it sounds like. That's right. According to whoever put up this notice, if you're not disabled, you're privileged. You have privilege. Just let that sink in for a minute. Not being disabled is a privilege now. It then continues, keep the shit in the bathroom, not in our politics. How about they keep the politics in the debate chamber, not in the toilet? Bathroom politics. Bathroom politics. Bathroom politics centers around the politicism of who, where and how people are allowed to piss and shit. Says the person or people who it seems are trying to do precisely that. And what do you know? The web address that it tells you to go to for more information is a Tumblr address. Why am I not surprised? Okay, now this other one goes into this new imaginary concept of privilege in more depth. It says, WTF is privilege? A comprehensive guide. Safety, the ability to use a restroom without fear or concern for your own safety constitutes privilege. Standard SJW paranoia on full display there. Unless there are a load of axe murderers running around on the campus of Northern Arizona University and I just haven't heard about it. Accessibility. This one's a bit hard to read because it's white on yellow, but I think it says, walking confidently into a restroom knowing you will be physically able to use it means you have privilege. This goes back to what I said earlier. Whoever made this thinks that not being disabled is somehow a privilege. I'm sure I don't have to tell you that not being disabled is not a privilege. It is the norm. That's why we say people are either disabled or able-bodied. We don't say that they're either able-bodied or super-abled. Gender binary, the ability to undoubtedly know which bathroom to pick is a characteristic of privilege. No, it's a characteristic of not being a gender-obsessed ideologue. I suppose the SJWs would prefer a set of toilets like this. Or would that not be enough? There are only 7 there after all, although I forgot to put a disabled one in there, so that would take it up to 8. Anyway, accommodation. This 4th one is almost unreadable, but I can just about make out, knowing that your designated bathroom will provide you with period something, something something and child changing rooms something P privilege. Are they seriously complaining that the toilets are too accommodating, that they have too many facilities? Is that what this is? Because that would be insane. It concludes, the bathroom revolution. Some bathrooms at NAU are flipping the script, creating bathroom spaces without the politics. Toilets without politics isn't flipping the script. Again, as with being able-bodied, it's the norm, and it's what they were doing there until this ideological lunatic or lunatics came along. To find your closest accessible all-gender restroom on campus, scan the QR code or visit, and there's that Tumblr address again. Well, there you have it. P-privilege, folks. The most ridiculous example of social justice thinking yet. I hesitate to call it the nadir of social justice because one can never tell what the future holds, and the SJWs might come up with something even more stupid, but for now, in my opinion, this is the most insane so far. And that's saying something. Believe me, there's been some pretty insane stuff before.